Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is something that I have not done in a very long while. I think it's been like a year and a half or something like that. And that's a book haul. I have a couple of books to show you guys. Now, the reason why I haven't been doing book hauls is for a good reason, guys. It's for a good reason. I have decided to stop buying books just to buy them and pile them up and then having a gigantic TBR. So I came up with this new methodology of work with my books, a new methodology, guys, which is I buy the exact number of books that I will be reading the following days or weeks basically. So, for example, I will buy or order online 3 books and I will finish reading these books before I'm able to buy any more books. And this has been working wonders with me because I am really up with my Goodreads challenge. I am reading the books I want to read immediately and focusing on them, and yeah, I'm not piling up a gigantic TBR, so I'm keeping my TBR to a minimum of 3 books simply because I won't buy more than that until I'm done with those. However, in recent days or weeks, there were a small little exception. I did not accumulate these many books, but I have few books that I would like to show you. Because what happens usually is that I don't accumulate this many books, and when I'm done and like I have 3 books, and when I have bought the other ones, I've already spoken about these books on my reviews or my wrap-ups, so it doesn't make sense to present them in a book haul again. But this time I did accumulate, not so much actually. I have only 6 books to show you. That's the most I have accumulated at once. I have 2 books I got from Amsterdam, and then 2 more books I got from my local bookshop, and 2 more books that I ordered online. So without any further ado, let's get into the books. I've read 2 out of these books and I'm still reading one of them. But yeah, they are valid for the whole. These are the books right here. So we're gonna start by the books I got from this super nice English used books bookshop in Amsterdam. I was in Amsterdam at the end of April, and yeah, I went to my friend who lived there recommended this place. It's like a 3-story building, very Amsterdamish. You know, those brick buildings, and it's an English bookshop with second-hand books, and I loved that shop. I really spent a long time there. They have a attic full of books, and also a how do you call it? I forgot. The things that end there. There's the attic, cellar. Okay. Anyways, that thing, it was full of books. Everything was so full of books, and I ended up getting 2 books. The first one is a book that I actually was meaning to read, and it was on my to-read list, and that is Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. This is the American classic. It was super tiny, super short. I'm not gonna talk a lot about these books because you can see them on my wrap-ups. But I read this one. It was really tiny, and I really don't know what to think about this book. I read it, I just finished it like a few days ago, and I didn't think about it yet. It was a very unsettling story, and very random, unsettling, with a lot of things happening. I mean, I get the point, but it's definitely something you have to sit and think about, and I haven't done that yet. So I have rated it though like 2 stars in Goodreads, or 3 stars I think. I don't know. I think it was okay. I didn't like it. I think it was just okay. And on Goodreads 2 stars it was okay. We'll talk about that more after. Anyways, then I got a second book, which is Vignettes and Postcards from Paris by Erin Byrne and Anna Pook. This is a collection of essays or texts written by some people that were participating in the writing bookshops at the Shakespeare & Co. bookshop in Paris, and they have this anthology of stories edited by the authors, and it's just stories about Paris, about anecdotes that happened with the authors as they were kids traveling to Paris, personal stories, grief stories, stories of appreciation, coming out of age stories, discovery stories, poems, a lot of poems, random stories about the subway in Paris, and I thought it was okay. Also, I did not love the stories or like, I think I really was awed by one story that I was like, oh, the rest for me was pretty plain. Yeah, but I like reading books about Paris, that's the thing, but other than that I think it was just okay. So yeah. Now moving on for the book that I bought from my local English bookshop in Munich. There is a used English bookshop. You've known about it because I have done a video and a vlog that I will leave here when I went there, and I got two books and oh my god, you guys, okay. I got Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo and the sequel Crooked Kingdom by Lee Bardugo. Now, I was craving some good fantasy. I mean, if you know me and you follow my channel for a while, you know that I don't read a lot of fantasy. I barely ever read fantasy. Like, maybe I read the Harry Potters and two A Caraval and the Court of Thorns and Roses. Very few. But I was craving some good fantasy with some good characters, and I was on BookTube and I was just watching people's recommendation for the series that you have to read, like fantasy series, and everyone seemed to love Six of Crows. And you guys, I know why. Oh my god, I'm reading the first book, which is Six of Crows, and I just bought it yesterday and I flew through it. You guys, this book is so good. Oh my god, it's like this couple of outcasts. I mean, it's set in this fantasy world that looks a bit like Amsterdam or the Netherlands. I mean, I could feel it for the language, very similar to German. I could really, I could recognize most of the words. And yeah, it's in this city that's basically a, I mean, inspired by Amsterdam. Obviously, it's called Ketterdam, and it's this entire word. And there's these six outcasts that go on a mission to get something and make a lot of money out of it. And these six people are brought together to accomplish this mission. And they're so different, but the characters are so well drawn, the word is so well drawn. I love the dialogue between the characters, it keeps me reading and reading. I didn't sleep yesterday. I slept at 4:30 a.m. trying to read this book. I could not put it down. I loved it so much. This is exactly what I was craving, and I'm so happy I found it. And so when I loved it, I went right back to the bookshop, and I was so happy to find that they also had the sequel. The sequel is in much better condition, and it's Crooked Kingdom, and I will read them back to back. So the moment I finish this one, I will start this one. I'm so excited, I'm so happy I have both. It's a duology, there are only 2 books, but I already wish for more. Anyway, then we have the books I ordered online from Amazon. Ordered online, like I'm ordering books from I don't know where. I'm ordering them from Amazon. So I just picked them up from the post this morning. So there's more fantasy. There is more fantasy because I was craving so much fantasy that I ordered the book online. Then I went to the bookshop and I bought more fantasy books. And that book is, the first fantasy book I got online is 3 Dark Crowns by Kinder Blake. This is also a series I've seen a lot spoken about on BookTube, and I've seen it in the videos that I was watching when I was craving some good fantasy. And it's this 3 sisters that have to fight each other and kill each other to basically access this throne, because there are 3 sisters but only one of them can be queen of this world, and that's all I want. It's all I know about it, and that's all I want to know is 3 sisters. I love stories about sisters. It's fantasy. I've heard good things about it, so I want to go into it really blind and not knowing much, because you know, with fantasy usually you just need to know the trope really or the premise, but not so much, because I mean then you discover the word and everything as you go. But I'm so excited, and I have this pretty copy. There's the other hardcover with 3 thrones, which is nice, and I was sad because I couldn't find it from the German Amazon, but this one is pretty. I love this one much better actually. I really like it, so I'm excited. It's not too long. Yes, more fantasy. And the last book I have to show you is the non-fiction. I think we did pretty good with this book, with this whole, because we have fantasy, we have fiction, we have an anthology, collection of stories, and we have a non-fiction book. And that's a baby I have seen so much and I've been wanting to have my hands on for so long, but I finally do. It's a little cutie thing that I love. This is the Little Book of Hygge. and it is The Danish Way to Live Well. Now this is a non-fiction published by the Happiness Research Institute of Copenhagen, and it's just talking about hygge, which it's a Danish word that translates to cozy living, and it just speaks about this Danish way of living in a cozy interior, how the Danish live and what makes them the happiest people on earth. And it's just a very aesthetically pleasing also book with a lot of pictures and a lot of figures, a lot of explanation, very informative. I went through it and the information is given in a very nice way, and it's a little beauty. And honestly, I'm all about hygge. I love hygge. I try to implement it into my space as much as possible, into my life as much as possible. And I will see what this book has to say about it. I'm so excited. Alright, you guys, this is the end of my haul. Now I promise that there will be no more incoming of books until all of those are done. Then I would get more books, and this is my technique, and I think you should try it if you really are so sick of having these long TBRs. I used to have this all the time when I was in college back in Morocco, and I was just really getting so tired of it. So when I moved from Morocco to Germany, I was like, okay, this is the start for new good habits, and it really changed my reading experience and my reader's life. So just try it. If you want to buy books, just don't just have the books you want to read next into your head. Go get them. Or even if you're going around the library and you find a book, just make sure you always have 3 books at a time, or a maximum of 4, not more. So try it. It really works. It did work for me pretty well. Let me know in the comments down below if you have read any of those books and what you thought about them, and give me some more fantasy recommendations. Yay! I'm so excited now to read more fantasy, so just give me all your best recommendations, and who knows, maybe I will start reading so much of this January, because those are really good books. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and hit that little alarm so that you are notified, if you want to, when my videos are posted, and follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys on my next video. Oh, and if I happen to post it around the Eid time, happy Eid and happy end of Ramadan to all of you, my Muslim friends. Eid Mubarak Sari, and I love you guys very much. Bye!